Hey guys, so we're coming to the end of our whole online learning and we're coming to the end to this unit, and I'm really excited because the end is where I started. It's where I started all of this on what I wanted you to do, because ultimately what I wanted you to do was to create a piece of art about what was happening. I wanted you to create art, but I wanted to give you a foundation of how artists made art in relation to what was happening around them, to these major events, because this is a major event that we're living through. It's a historical event that we're living through. And so as we looked at different artists and how they did that, as we looked at the Dada artists making fun, we looked at the Great Depression works, where they were serious with the Depression breadline and the migrant mother. We looked at regionalism that gave hope. We looked at Norman Rockwell's Rosie the Riveter that showed strength. And then we looked at the 9/11 work, which had a lot in that. And it showed lots of different depiction of New York artists and how they felt about what happened from the terrorist attacks. And there were a lot of styles depicted and a lot of different emotions depicted. And so I want you to create a work in any way that you feel fit, subject matter wise, style wise, and material wise. Now, let's go to materials. I do not actually want you to purchase anything. If you and your parents decide to purchase something, that's completely on y'all. Copy paper, notebook paper, and a pencil is perfectly fine with me. You guys, if you were to decide to shade, you can shade with a notebook with a number 2 pencil. That's fine. If you had an ink pen or a Sharpie, you can cross hatch your stipple if you wanted to shade that way. So you can do whatever. Don't worry if you're using the Crayolas. Crayolas are fine with this. I do care about your craftsmanship, and I care about the participation that goes into this. I'm not looking for something that you've created in just 10 minutes. Okay, this is going to be for the next. We'll probably turn this in on maybe Wednesday or Thursday before our last day, so that I can have some time to share with you guys, because I'd like to put all these pieces together. But this is what we're going to spend. So you'll have your final piece, and then I'm going to actually, of course, want a written explanation explaining why you made the choices that you made. Okay. You can do sculptures, you can do collages. If you have paint, you can paint, you can draw. You can do photography. Now, if you do photography, I do want you to do more than one piece that kind of works together as a whole, so that you don't just go outside, take a picture, and then have 6 days of nothing. Okay, so I want to see your progress in like building up like a theme. Okay, now I know you can't tell, but I've done this video like 5,000 times. I keep messing up, or a kid interrupts me. And so every other video I started with this blank, but now I have just left it. Okay, so day 1, I want to see a brainstorming map of some kind. If you're doing it written, it might not look exactly like mine, but you could do it on a piece of paper and take a picture and link it. But I want you to start. Now, I started the middle of mine with Corona. You can start it with anything. If you wanted to start it with quarantine and then work from there, because this is big. And so you might even want to go into a sub kind of category of the Corona if you wanted to. But it is all around like what is happening right now, which should be in some effect to the pandemic. So this is all about coronavirus, COVID-19, however you want to say it. Okay. And so my first one that I did was quarantine. I've got garden, because I've been able to plant a garden, which was something I was going to do anyway here at my new house. Being home, okay, because we're stuck at home. And on 2 sides. I'm loving that I'm home with my family. I love teaching, but I do love staying at home and being able to cook and not having that stress and that busyness. I love that too. But it gets lonely. So not having my adult friends, my girlfriends to talk to, it gets really lonely. Everything is closed. So even though I'm liking the slowdown, I'd like to be able to go to the zoo. We get season passes. My parents get them season passes for the zoo every year. And so this is something that we really enjoy getting to do. My favorite animal at the zoo are the penguins. So if I wanted to do a pen and ink or a pencil shading or any way drawing of penguins, and I wanted to support why I was using them for this, it could work. So you just have to put in what you want. And so it could be something that's hopeful, it could be something that you miss, it could be something that shows fear. It's going to be your choice. And so fear is what I have here: sick and death, because you could be afraid of getting sick, you could be afraid of the deaths that are building up. Job loss. I've got some of you that have shared with me that one of your parents or both of your parents have lost their job, and afraid of losing your house and afraid of not having food. So there's lots of things that you could be fearful of, just being fearful of the unknown. And what does that look like, and what would that look like in a piece of art if you were trying to show that? And I drew a line between fear and quarantine about the reopening. Some people are they want the reopening, but they also are afraid of the reopening. And so what does that look like? I like how our community has came together, and I guess this is kind of a regionalism idea in itself too. People who are making masks for each other. Masks could go in a couple of different categories, couldn't it? It could also go into safety, if I wanted to make a category called safety. Our buses, so our school district, and the way that we have worked together. And so I have this one. If you follow me on Instagram, my little handy dandy sketchbook that I have. So this is a color pencil that I'm working on. And so I've got another idea for doing a watercolor of a school bus with my kids actually at the bus getting their food. I think I might actually try to get that done. Y'all know how that rolls though, right? I start something, but I don't get it done. And even though I'm here all day, but when you're trying to wrangle 3 kids around, you don't always just have time to paint. But that's kind of a goal too. But if anything, I should be able to finish this. And guys, this is I think I put on Instagram it was 4 inches. I think this is actually a 5 by 5 inch. I'm not worried necessarily about the size of your piece either. But you can tell this isn't something I sat down in 10 minutes and just did. Okay, I'm really happy with it. I hope y'all like it too. I think it's pretty cool. But that's a picture of our buses the day that I helped. I've only been able to help with one day, but help them deliver food. And I just sat and saw the line of buses. Just seeing that was really cool to me, because I just love how our school district has put that together, because that's not something that all districts are doing. And it just really shows how we've came together and how much our district cares about our students and making sure that they have food. But we're out every day to get it, and it kind of marks for us when hopefully our schoolwork is done. We get started in the morning and hopefully we're finished. Lakeland's not always finished, but Mia's first grade work is usually finished, and then that way we can eat our lunch, and then it marks when we can go and have some fun time outside. So this bus this means a lot to me, and I'll never look at buses the same. Shortages. That was on one of my previous one of these. Number like 342. All right, so shortages. We had shortages in toilet paper. That was crazy. Meat. Different types of food items too. If you wanted to go around and name them all, you could. Like Lysol and cleaning products, hand sanitizers. A few years ago, I had my 8th grade students do still life drawings of toilet paper. They were pretty cool. I'm just saying, you could do something like that and shade it. Looks pretty cool. So anything that you decide to do, you just want to be able to support that. This is why I'm making this choice, and this is why I've got this idea. And then I also want to know what materials you're going to use. Okay, and the materials you use might change, and that's okay. You might say, hey, I tried this, it didn't work, so I'm going to try this. If you have questions, let me know. I think I've covered everything. I think I have finally made it through the end of this video. I can't believe I've taken like 1,000 takes. The first assignment is to brainstorm and then tell me what you came up with and what you think that you're going to do. Don't procrastinate on this. If you procrastinate on this, you could end up in the final week with your needing to do a whole thing, and that can get you into trouble. May 18th through the 22nd, there will not be any school assignments. May 18th is when, if you have a school Chromebook or anything like that, you'll turn that in. Okay, that's the last day to turn things in. So we have to have it finished before then, and you have to have it turned in to me. And I really am looking for what I would consider a 100-point assignment. Though I know you don't have, well, you might have a light box at home, but you might not have a light. That was my child. Did you hear that? But you might not be able to trace something to get out of eraser marks and those types of things. So please don't think that I'm worried about those. And you may not have the best materials that you want to use, but I think that even says something to where we're at, because I'm limited on some supplies too. Even though I did gather a few of my things that I keep at school, I'm still a little limited on what I have and what I can do. And so that's okay, but I don't want your parents to go out and buy something for this. All right. Search up some ideas if you need to, spend some time. I'm also going to be asking for process shots. A process shot is kind of like my shot of this, of the school bus. I'm showing you that it's in the process of being complete. It's in progress, but it's not finished yet. Okay. And that sometimes just helps show that you're on task and that you're, I'm almost done. I'm not redoing this. But it helps show me that you've started and that you're making progress, and that way I know. Okay, say hi to everybody.
Who are you talking to?
I'm talking to my kids at school. Okay, I'm done. I'm not redoing this video, even though I've gotten interrupted. I love you guys. Bye. Okay, I gotta push the button.